Hey guys, Premium Venture here, and today I'm going to be bringing you part 2 of Dragon Age Origins Dark Spawn Chronicles. And today I think I wanted to address video games, like the feel of games. What kind of games do you guys like to see? What kind of games do you like to play? Right now, I'm actually playing through the DLC of Borderlands 2, and I'm not sure if that's something that you guys would be interested in seeing. I know it's a short DLC. Maybe actually just start up a whole nother character, run through, you know, don't move anything over, just like have fun with it. Start a whole new character. Maybe I can get Big Guy 32, SMB. Yeah, I can get him over one of these days coming up, and we could actually do a split screen co-op, as he has not played Borderlands 2 yet. He played a little bit of 1. I don't think he completed it. Pretty sure he didn't complete it. We played for a bit. I think we attempted to play Borderlands 2 before. Just the split screen that he was playing on turned out really bad. Like, he had a lot of input lag. So when you have a half a second to a full second of input lag, it becomes really hard to actually play a game, turns out. So maybe we'll have him over. You know, we'll figure something out there, and we'll get that all sorted out. Now, as far as my other game series, you know, I got Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne. I got Time Explorers 2. What else do I have? I've been meaning to start Kingdom Hearts and Kingdom Hearts 2. Preferably do the first one before I do the second. Not sure if I want to do 100%. Collect everything, because that's just, I don't want to say it's tedious. It's just going to take a long time, and I don't always feel like playing a game for that long. It's a good game, don't get me wrong. I've just played through it so many times that it almost feels like a chore now to get everything again. And the dogs are barking in the background because people are home. You know, it could, Kingdom Hearts. It's a great game, fun game. Need to hook up a different, switch out the cables on the back of my PVR from the Xbox back to the PS2. Figure all that out. I got some PS3 games I want to start playing. I've got some Ratchet and Clank. What's that? Tools of Destruction and Crack in Time. Both two great games that I'd like to start putting stuff out for. I got some PC stuff that I'm not necessarily crazy about playing. Not necessarily, they're not bad games. It's just I prefer playing on a system because my PC is not great. I always have to run everything generally on low, and then, you know, that's not very fun, having the bare minimum. And I'd like to be able to upgrade my stuff, you know, upgrade my equipment. I just don't have the money for it. I mean, when I do get the money, I'd love to play some Chivalry, have it on the computer. Just it lags so much, it's virtually unplayable. You know, it's I say virtually unplayable, but it is literally unplayable, unfortunately. My brother plays, so my friend Sykes, she plays. I don't know who else. Oh, one of my friends tried to play it. Actually burned out his whole motherboard. Yeah, not that that's necessarily funny, but I just think he had a nice computer too. I don't understand how he ended up burning out his motherboard on that, but you know, but it was time for an upgrade. Anyway. Definitely time for an upgrade. Oh, jeez. So, definitely, definitely need to get started on continuing those other games. Maybe start doing some live commentaries so I don't have to record, and then do a voiceover, do a commentary track for it. It's just I feel that when I'm actually playing a game, I don't have much to talk about. especially if we're referring to the game itself. I'm just like, oh, look at this. This is, I'm shooting people. Look, I'm hitting them. Yay. And maybe it's just because I'm playing by myself. If I had someone else to talk to, I'm sure I could play off them well. Just as far as commentary while I'm playing a game, I get a little focused. I get a little too focused in the game, and I end up not having good things to talk about. I'm working on it. Definitely, I'm definitely working on trying to fix that. But it's something that I end up not just talking much. And therein lies the problem of when I don't talk much, then it just gets boring. You know, if I don't have much to talk about, I don't necessarily consider it a bad game, because it isn't. It's just, I'm focused, I'm enjoying the game, and sometimes I just nothing to talk about. Like, I'll say I'm playing Borderlands 2. I'm sitting here, I'm shooting stuff, and I'm going, wow, it's a nice environment. I really like the colors. I really like how I'm shooting this guy. It's fun. You know, and that's the thing about reviews and fun. Fun is subjective. Not everyone enjoys the same things, which is understandable. You know, people not enjoying the same things, that's a given. That's obviously, you know, if I enjoy, okay, personally, I don't enjoy sports games. I don't really enjoy racing games. I'm more of an RPG shooter, you know, platformer type of person. So, you know, I don't care for any of the sports games. I don't like NBA. I don't like Madden. That's not to say they aren't fun games. They're just not the type for me. And I understand you're doing a review. You're giving your opinion. That's just what it is. It's an opinion. But too many people rely on these reviews, like one review that you'll see in a magazine, you know, saying, oh, this game is bad. And people are like, okay, I'm not going to pick up this game. But that's the thing. You can't just base it on one review. If one review gives it like a 3, and another review gives it a 9, you have to figure, okay, I have to look at more than just 2 reviews. Which is why you can go on sites like Metacritic, you know, you can see professional reviews, and at the same time you can see consumer reviews. A lot of times, well, let's use movies as an example. A lot of times, I won't go see a movie, like, when it comes out, unless it's a movie that I am super psyched to see. Like Dark Knight Rises? Well, okay, I didn't see it when it came out just because I didn't have the money for it, but I knew I was going to go see it. It was cemented even more when I asked my friends how it was, and they said it was great. If your friends have roughly the same taste as you do, superb. You know, you have to talk to the people whose tastes, you know, are closest to yours. I don't want to say that match yours, because it's not always that simple. At the same time, you know, definitely as the opinions of friends whose opinions differ from yours. Try and find out, you know, why they didn't like it. What about the movie or game was unappealing to them? And this is especially important. This is important for everyone. You should never ever stop trying to learn. Stop trying to figure out what makes a game or a movie good. You know, even if you're not going into game design, even if you don't want to do anything with video games, the fact that you can you know, identify patterns in video games that really, you know, makes the game good, makes it enjoyable. For example, Borderlands 1 and Borderlands 2. A lot of people don't like Borderlands 2 because of the way they changed the loot system. And I will admit, I'm not crazy about the new loot system wherein you can have each boss essentially drops one specific weapon, as opposed to the Borderlands 1 of you can get pretty much any orange legendary weapon off of anywhere, anyone. And that's a great system, because then you're not farming the same boss over and over in an attempt to get one weapon you like. Borderlands 1, everyone would do, you know, armory runs. You would do armory runs so that you could just have a chance at getting anything. And when you got something that you wanted, you were excited. You were excited when you saw that orange and didn't know what it was. As opposed to 2, where you're like, oh, I'm killing this boss. Oh, he dropped an orange. Awesome, just the thing I want. Which definitely has its advantages. You know, there's definitely an advantage to, okay, I'm looking for this specific thing, I just have to kill this guy until he drops it. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but at the same time, it comes down to, in 1, you could just run every boss in hopes that they would drop, you know, something for you, and you would enjoy it. Whereas it does get annoying, it does get tedious and monotonous to run the same boss over and over, especially if it's one that you don't even have to run anywhere to. You quit, you save and quit, you respawn, you kill him, you save and quit, you respawn, you kill him. There's a certain level of tedium to that, and I'll admit I've done it, you know, for plenty of things that I wanted to. And it's just, it feels like too much of a grind. Like, obviously, games with loot like this are gonna feel grindy. That's inherent. I would like to think it's inherent to these kinds of games. But there's definitely a difference in if you're having fun grinding or if it feels like a chore, because you go, okay, I'm max level, I gotta kill this guy until he drops this weapon, and then I gotta go and I have to kill this guy until he drops this shield or this grenade mod or this class mod or artifact or whatever you want. And there's, I want to say the grinding, the loot, best part of, well, the loot is the best part of the game. If we're ignoring the story, you know, the gameplay, great, but the gameplay is accented and almost relies on the loot itself. If this was like Call of Duty, and you just had your one gun that wasn't anything special, or not necessarily your one gun, you could pick between like 6 guns, and they were always the same, just slightly different, like firing speeds, or, you know, they have higher damage. Everyone is always going to pick the one that performs the best. There's not any reason to pick one that is inherently worse than what you could be using. And I don't I don't want to say that if you do, it's a bad choice, because it's not. It's whatever you have fun with. But if you're going for most efficient, you're always going to choose that gun. You're always going to choose the gun that performs the best. Whereas in this one, Borderlands 2, you'll have people, you know, everyone wants the B. Everyone wants the B shield for the amp damage, the extra damage. And that does have built-in downsides, where in low capacity, it takes a long time to recharge. But when it does finally recharge, it recharges very fast. Okay, yeah, that's awesome. However, people choose that because they just want to down bosses faster, which is not a bad thing. It's not something you should use for every encounter. But then you get people who complain about it or exploit glitches. And really popular was the B shield conference call combo, where you would have this shotgun that would shoot out tons and tons and tons of pellets all at one time, and it was a glitch with the amp damage shields, where when you have multi-pellet weapons, instead of adding the total amp damage like to the damage it would do itself, it added to every single pellet. So you would get shotguns, any multi-shot, anything that would shoot at multiple pellets or bullets at one time. Best choice. Everyone used confidence ball. Everyone used the B, because it was, you know, the best. It was the best choice that you had if you wanted to down bosses that should require multiple people by yourself. And while I can't say that things like that shouldn't be in the game, because it is an alternate choice, I just feel like I can't play like public games online, because I'm running around, everyone's always just gonna have the best stuff, or they're gonna have modded equipment. They're gonna have something that just destroys the game for me. Like, I want to get into a game, like a 4-player game of just either people I know or randoms, where we progress through the game normally. We're not just running around killing everything in one hit. I want there to be some sort of struggle, you know. And while I may not always play, yeah, don't get me wrong, I have characters that are decked out in all the best stuff. And that's subjective, by the way. Best is definitely subjective in this game. All the stuff that I think is the best for what they're doing, I definitely have people decked out like that. And sometimes it's fun to play, like, you want to feel powerful. You want to feel like you can destroy these guys instantly. And yes, I do have some characters that I'll do some glitches on, just for that. But I would not go into a public game, you know, and just run around one-shotting everything. No one, I want to say no one enjoys that, but it's not true. I don't think it's fun. I wouldn't want someone coming into my game and just one-shotting everything, unless I invited them and specifically asked them to. It's okay. So there's definitely a horrible power creep when it comes to Borderlands 2 endgame weapons. There's nothing wrong with that, because they are harder to find until people start duping them. When you dupe them, they don't feel special anymore. Borderlands 1, I just absolutely loved playing through that game. Just finding legendaries, finding oranges, that felt like an accomplishment. You know, you would run around, you would either find a nice orange in a vending machine that you could mess around with, you know, buy it if you had the money, and then just, it would be scaled to your level, or rather close to it, and you can mess around with that and decide, you know, is this something that I want to try and get another one of when I get to max level. Borderlands 2, the chances of finding oranges now have been severely decreased, which should make them feel like they're more special when you get them. Unfortunately, with the whole decrease of the drop percentage, people come out and say, okay, I don't feel like putting that much effort into it, which is perfectly fine. Not everyone has the time to run around and farm these things. And so one person will get them, and they'll start duplicating them for everyone else. And I think that's where I end up having the problem with it, is, you know, I think you should trade, that's awesome. When you start duplicating stuff for everyone, is when it really diminishes the value of everything. Like, you could find one of the rarest guns or heads, skins, all that kind of stuff, but when it would have a good value, you know, in this virtual economy that we haven't actually assigned values to anything, far as I know. It would have a good value to it. But when you can get it for free from anyone, it doesn't feel special anymore. And people who actually, you know, grind for days to try and get their equipment, they have a right to feel almost offended that, you know, they spent all this time and everyone else is just getting it for free, you know, whenever they want it. Okay, I can understand being outraged and slightly angry about that. Especially when you'll have equipment, you know, you've been farming for days, you're level 50, you're max level, you're farming this guy, you finally get the drop that you want, you finally get the weapon you want, and they drop it as a level 48 weapon. Okay, yeah, you finally found it, but then you're angry. You're angry inside because you spent all this time and it's not even a max level item. But then there's these absolutely perfect, you know, perfect stat weapons going around that everyone's just trading. Okay, you know, you really want to just give up and go have someone duplicate it for you, which, you know, I'm not saying I haven't before, because you'll be going at something for days and you just get discouraged. You really do. But I feel like I have a better feeling. Like, I feel more accomplished when I actually sit there and get something for myself. Is it easy? No, by no means is it easy. But it's just a feeling of satisfaction that I personally feel that motivates me to keep playing. And I mean, if you're not having fun with the game anymore, you know, just don't play it. I've discontinued a lot of series that I've been putting up on the channel, either out of laziness most of the time, or I'll lose footage, or I'll just won't enjoy the game anymore and I'll stop playing it. And that's definitely a more important thing, is have fun. You always have fun with what you're doing. Don't let anyone else tell you, you know, don't let anyone else ever tell you that the game you're playing is crap, or, you know, you shouldn't be playing it because it's a bad game. If you have fun with it, doesn't matter if you're playing E.T. for the Nintendo Entertainment System, or if you're playing Call of Duty, doesn't matter as long as you have fun. Okay guys, that's gonna wrap it up for now. Sorry about the rant. Have a good one, and be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more videos similar to this one, hopefully less ranty. Thanks guys. Later.